This is how I stay lean, my tips for staying lean without counting calories. My name is Ryan. I'm a personal trainer and coach. I'm about 11.5% body fat right now. Pretty lean, not like shredded. But this is how I maintain being lean and healthy without counting calories, because I don't love counting calories or weighing my food. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my vibe. So this is how I do it. Number one is the intentional use of caffeine. You don't want to overdo caffeine. It is a stimulant. It can leave you a little jittery, a little anxious, and disrupt sleep. However, using it properly before about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or in much lower doses later in the day, it acts as a natural appetite suppressant and metabolic booster. You burn more calories, you're more likely to tap into fat stores for fuel when you're drinking caffeine. And so I use it before my workouts, sometimes before my runs, just a little black coffee, maybe kind of a lighter energy drink. And the intentional use of caffeine can be great for staying lean. The next thing is I do fasted cardio a few times a week. What I always tell my clients is that you've probably not seen someone who runs consistently who is also overweight. Runners, athletes, soccer players, basketball players tend to maintain a very shredded physique naturally, and that's because they move a lot. They run, they do cardio, they are burning calories more often throughout the week just because they do it. Now, I'm not a natural runner, however, I try to get in at least 3 miles 3 times a week, so about 9 miles a week, and that helps me stay lean without counting calories. The next one is I eat until I'm about 70 to 80% full. I used to always eat until I was just super full because that was just kind of like satisfying to me. But what I realized is that after I would do that, I would feel tired, I would crash, I would feel bloated and lethargic. Whereas now I eat till I'm about 70, 80% full, I'm pretty satisfied. And I actually leave the meal feeling better, more energized, lighter, and I'm eating less throughout the week because of that. So eat a little bit slower and eat till you're about 70, 80% full. It's okay if you don't finish all your food. You know, my grandma used to always say, finish all the food on your plate, because if you don't, that's rude, and that kind of got drilled in my head. But if you're trying to maintain a lean and healthy physique, you don't always have to do that. So don't just waste food, but eat till you're about 70, 80% full. The next one is proper sleep. Now, the way that I do this is sometimes I take a little melatonin, but mostly what I do is I just sleep until I wake up. So I try when I can, obviously life gets in the way sometimes, to not set too many early morning alarms. If my body wants to sleep in and needs that sleep for rest and recovery, that is fine. And I'll let myself sleep till 9, 10, 11 o'clock, whatever it is, depending on how late I'm up. My sleep schedule's definitely been better, not as good as of late, but that helps me maintain leanness. So those few things. The next thing is walking more often. Just if I'm bored, if I'm scrolling on TikTok at home, I'm like, hey, might as well just go for a walk and listen to music or something like that. Just a little bit more activity throughout your day is going to help you. Sometimes I'll even park like a block or two away from the gym. So like even in little ways, I just microdose movement and walking throughout my day. The next thing that I do is cold therapy. Cold showers, cold tubs are known to boost your metabolism, boost energy production, boost dopamine. So I start each morning with a cold shower and I let my body heat up on its own. That will tap into fat stores for fuel, tap into fat for energy, and I find that that helps me stay lean. The next one is I drink a lot of water throughout the day. I don't track it, but I probably get close to a gallon. And I usually have my water with electrolytes, which I find helps keep me satiated, full, hydrated throughout the day. A lot of times you'll get hunger cravings and actually you're just dehydrated. So the more water that you can drink, the more water that you have, the better, especially for staying lean, for staying de-bloated. You know, that's all good stuff. And then the last one is mindset. Out of all the tips I've given you, those just kind of little easy to apply tips in your day-to-day life to stay lean, maybe the most important one is mindset, which is, I believe that our bodies listen heavily to our minds. And if you perceive and think of yourself as someone who is overweight, struggles to get lean, you think of exercise as being extremely difficult, you think of yourself as someone who eats really poorly, versus if you hold the mental self-image of, oh, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm lean, I'm an athlete, I'm athletic, things like that. I'm a strong believer in the fact that our thoughts play a large influence in shaping our reality, and not just our reality, but the health and well-being of our bodies as well. And so make sure you're thinking positive, seeing yourself in a positive light. And those are my 5-minute quick tips for how I stay lean at 11.5% body fat, sub 12% body fat, which is pretty lean. I've pretty much, like, without flexing, just about like a pretty visible 4-pack to 6-pack, without counting calories. There's nothing wrong with counting calories if you're trying to be shredded, but if you're playing the long game in fitness, which hopefully you are, then you need to find ways to stay healthy that are maintainable and you can do for a long time. The last one I'll say too is I try not to drink my calories. So when I have coffee, I have black coffee. I stick to water and electrolytes. I try to avoid juices when I can, although sometimes I'll do like orange juice for a little bit of vitamins, stuff like that. But I try not to drink my calories because those are just usually empty calories, sugar from like soda and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope some of these tips help you get shredded for the summer or just stay lean in general. And definitely subscribe for more fitness, wellness, self-mastery content in the future. Thank you.